Oh, nigga.
But
What's going on,
all right.
everybody? We're back on another episode of the Moderately Educated News Network. So, you know, just moderately educated guys gonna have a conversation about current news. So today the topics are gonna be over the DNC and then RFK dropping out.
Oh, okay. Cool. Sounds good. We squeezing we plan on squeezing Zuck in there or
Oh,
saving that for
I was
another
gonna do
time?
that like a separate video.
Okay, cool. I ain't mad at that. Sounds
Yeah.
good. So I gotta say personally, I don't necessarily have strong feelings about DNC, RFK, really any of that. So I'd be willing to hear y'all's thoughts and kind of piggyback off that, but yeah.
Okay. Oh, I do want to say today, guys, we have a guest with us. We got Solomon here to give his thoughts and opinions. So, since he's the honored guest today, we're gonna let Solo go first.
What's up, everybody? Well, just from doing a little research about JFK endorsing Trump, I realized that his reasoning for endorsing Trump was because of the fact that he didn't want to like split the votes between like Kamala and like the race or whatever. So, I mean, honestly, if he knew that he was gonna be such a split, I just felt like he should have probably just like not ran, or just picked an actual party to run for rather than just being an independent party. Yeah. But like, what do you feel about that stuff? Like, I mean, I got to do a little bit about it, but I'm kind of like X2, like I don't have too much to say, but I do think like if you're gonna run for something, you should have might as well like you might as well have just like stuck by it and just split the vote and um endorse somebody else so close to the end of the race.
For sure. Well, what I'll say about that, so RFK, um, people don't know that's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. The nephew, I guess, to John F. Kennedy, who was assassinated. Uh, Robert F. Kennedy, his father, was also assassinated. So this man is somebody who definitely has been a lifelong Democrat, has tried to be the Democratic nominee. Felt he should have been the Democratic nominee, but they wouldn't even necessarily let this man on the debate stage, even though he met all the requirements. So, seeing that they were essentially gatekeeping him from being the Democratic nominee, because a lot of people really liked and supported this man and his views and opinions, because he's not very partisan. Like he's not necessarily focused on his party as much as he is the people. The Democrats didn't like that. So, as with everybody that they don't like, that wants to actually help people, they tossed him to the side. They said, "You're not getting anywhere." They also did the same thing with Bernie Sanders and a bunch of other people, and they shoved Biden on a mental decline out as the nominee, whether they want to deny it or not, clearly in decline. Um, and yeah, so I'd venture to say he tried. And when he realized that they would never let it happen, he became an independent, tried to do his own thing, and his numbers for an independent for a third party in current times are actually like astronomically high. Which is why he still encouraged people to vote for him. So, at least in non-swing states, and he endorsed Trump in swing states. Um, because he does want Trump to win because Trump was willing to listen to him where Kamala was not and denied listening to him. And Trump is also open to giving him a position if he wins the White House. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting too that you said for the people, and that's kind of like what Kamala is like that's like one of her slogans right now. It's like she's for the people, or that's literally what everybody says. And if he's for the people and the Democratic Party doesn't like want him, it's kind of like contradicting a little bit in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but if y'all see that new ad, Like, there's been a lot of things in the news lately, between that, Zuck, Tulsi, everything. It's just a lot going on, right? And there's an ad that Trump released. I don't know if we can, if X can pull it up in screen share, but just look up Kamala debating herself,
Okay.
and let's see if we can react to that
Yep.
real quick.
You can participants should be able to screen share in this.
Oh, for sure.
X, you have any thoughts about that? Like,
Yeah.
what you
So
feel
when
about
it
it?
comes to RFK dropping out, I think absolutely that'll help Trump. It's best not to in key states to like you said, Solo, to split the vote from potential Trump voters or undecideds, where Trump may not receive that vote and therefore, lose the state because they have you know, RFK running there simultaneously. So although RFK technically is still in the race and but like conceded several key states for Trump, I think that was a smart move on his part. I think it was that deal they worked out that yeah, he can still have a play key roles in the administration if they do win. I think that's probably ultimately to RFK's benefit. RFK and Trump's benefit. But that being said, I don't think RFK he's a bit too conspiratorial for me, and to be honest, he's a bit weird. I know us Democrats love that word, but one of the things that is just strange to me that he's quoted that he won't take sides on 9/11 or and just strange like statements like that. I'm not too familiar with his policies, but I feel like a lot of the things he said is he had some really weird rhetoric regarding the AIDS epidemic back in the day. Yeah, the guy sounds a bit unhinged to me. So hey, I understand why like the Democrats wouldn't want him on a ticket, despite him being for the people. Like I said, don't know his policy, can't speak to that all that much, but yeah, they don't want him on the ticket. That's cool. And yeah, if you're ready to screen share, those are my thoughts. If you're ready to screen share, what you were
For
bringing
sure.
up, we can move on
Um,
to that.
and quick sidebar. So some of his things that he's really like pertinent about is, the things that are going into. Oh, hold on, I got to do a system preference thing. Desktop.
What are you trying to share that I might be able to bring it up?
Just search Kamala debating herself on YouTube. It's a new ad that was like just released. But yeah, with RFK, he's concerned about the things that is in our food, which obviously we all know to be the case. Other countries' food.
At Papa John's, get an extra large, New York style. One topping.
Can y'all hear that shit? What the fuck is happening?
Papa John. Oh, bro.
Yeah,
Shakaroni pizza. Shout out to Shaq. Oh my gosh. But yeah, he's concerned about the things that go in our food. He's concerned about wars, and um, you know, he's also concerned about the documents that are not released on the assassination of his father and uncle. Um, so yeah, those are all things that are pretty concerning, amongst other things, the cost of goods and everything. So yeah, but oh man, this video. I caught a peek at it. I didn't watch the whole thing. It's not that long, but it was funny. Oh no, that's not it. That's not it. Just search Kamala Harris debating herself.
Yeah, this is what came up. The Free Press Journal was the first result. So, are you talking about the Democrat debate highlights?
Just look up
Okay,
Kamala
I
Harris
think
debating herself ad. Ad.
instead of showing a video here that I don't know how long it is, if you could summarize it, that'd
It's
be
a
great.
minute. It's a minute.
If you could summarize it, that'd be great.
Or if you got the link, just send it in the
Yeah,
chat.
I'm
And
not
we
gonna
can
go
go
on a
through
goose hunt for this.
Oh man. Hold on. Just let me go to security and privacy and friggin' figure this out. But in the meantime, while I'm trying to pull that up, we can talk about the DNC, right? So, Solo, I know you watched the DNC because I saw it was on your story, right? So what
Yeah, I
were
watched a little bit of it.
and what were your thoughts?
Um, I didn't have too much thought in it in general. Sometimes I think the DNC can be a little bit like theatrical or like just like a concert in a way. But um, I really just watched the Michelle Obama and the Barack Obama speech. Um, it was kind of good to see them on the stage again. It was kind of good to see Michelle speak. Um, but that was pretty much it. I didn't really watch too much of it. And then Obama, I don't know, he was talking a little bit too long for me, so I kind of ended up turning him off. But um, I mean, I enjoyed it, honestly. I enjoyed just kind of seeing them back on the stage. But that's pretty much it from it. I don't have too many takeaways from it.
Okay. And why? So, what makes you say it was good to see them on stage again? Is it from the perspective that you thought he was a good president, or that you just like them as people? Like, what's your take
I
on?
Yeah, I value them a lot as people more per se. Like one of the big things that I kind of saw just from both of them is their mannerisms and the way they speak. I like how they speak as like educated African Americans. So that was like one of the big takeaways that I have from like watching because that was the only day I watched. I only watched when they were there, but um I like the way they speak. I like their public speaking skills.
Okay.
But for sure it's just a familiar face and that they were kind of like Obama was a president, you know, through high school and middle school for us. So he was kind of like somebody like it was just like a familiar face, honestly.
It was like seeing an old friend type.
Yeah, low key. Just like,
Okay, for sure. I mean, out of their speeches, would you say they said anything that was relevant to the American people regarding like solving issues, or would you say it was more ad hominem attacks on Trump?
it was way more attacks at Trump. Um, Michelle did quite a lot of attacking. President Barack Obama did the same. I think ultimately both of them. I feel like the whole thing, everybody was just kind of like shoot at Trump the whole time, but um, I don't think it was any. They really didn't talk about anything besides giving hope and wanting hope and shooting at Trump in their whole speech. Literally, that's like the key takeaways from the whole speech for me. So.
For sure. And I'd agree with your take, right? Barack Obama is a very charismatic speaker, very just warm, welcoming guy, somebody that seems pretty easy to relate to. But the DNC, in my opinion, was an absolute mess. Like it was just predominantly ad hominem attacks on Trump and, like you said, hope and stuff. But they literally somebody did a running count of how many times I mentioned Trump's name. It was like 288 or something crazy. How many times they mentioned like policy or anything? It was like barely in the double digits. So I was just like, that's pretty crazy. So it seemed pretty deranged in that regard. And the thing that I hate about them constantly saying hope and hope and hope is that you are in power right now. You have power right now. You control the Senate and the White House. So you have 2/3 of the power currently, and to say that you're trying to give people hope when what were you doing the last 3.5 years? Why do they need hope now? That's really the question that we should all be asking, in my opinion. But I thought it was as far as getting people that hate Trump to hate Trump more, yeah, the DNC did its job in that. But as far as getting policies across that are going to help people, I think it was completely ineffective. X, you have a take?
Yeah, sure. I like the DNC. I like to see a lot of the one notable one for me was a representative from Michigan. I believe was the state, forget her name. But I felt that very much that the Democratic Party exuded values, well, of democracy. It felt very American and patriotic at times, especially hearing about people's service to their countries and how they're involved in various communities, things things of that nature. I did feel like a lot of those messages hopefully resonated with people. When it comes to the Trump attacks, I kind of like that because, well, people should know how terrible of a person that Trump is. Uh, Not going to get too much into that. But that being said, I don't think it doesn't necessarily rise to the level of, I think, rhetoric that Republican candidates, GOP senators, and people of that nature have engaged in the past. So ultimately, I'm can't really say whether it was a success or not, but it did feel like a bit of a rallying for Democrats nationwide, and it was ultimately probably some positive messaging there. So, and yeah, I would say, if Trump hate is probably just as valid a sentiment as running on policy. I think either one is valid in that regard. So, uh, yeah, pick your
I
poison.
disagree with that because it's like, how do you claim you want to help people, but when people beg you for policy, how are you going to help us? How are you going to prevent World War III? How are you going to run this country in an effective way where people can thrive instead of losing their jobs, being homeless, being taken over by migrants and things of that nature? It's like, how are you going to effectively manage that? And your answer is Trump is evil, Trump is this, Trump is that. Like, that's don't ever, in my opinion, I'd say don't ever try to say those are equally effective or equal in any sense of the word, because
I mean, in
one,
terms of the value that they provide, probably not. But in terms of getting votes on your side, I would say so.
and getting votes, I mean, for the people that hate him and only watch CNN, MSNBC, and stuff like that, yeah, probably, I'd agree 100%. I see this guy over here.
Yes, sir. That is a lovely young gentleman that is sitting in my living room. It's my friend from
Oh,
high school, Elijah McClendon Mukarame. Um, no, Murakami. I asked if he would mind joining. Can't I'll let you give a quick intro about yourself, but yeah, he's not overly involved in politics. Figure, he could contribute to the conversation where he can, and just be here to listen, observe.
cool.
So
Yep,
that being
yep.
said, go
Hello.
ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. Yep, like he said, my name's Elijah. It's Murakami McClinton. Um,
Oh, close enough.
uh, but yeah, like Xavier had said, um, I'm just kind of starting to try to get more into politics and educate myself a lot more in that department in my life. Um, right now, currently, just like he said, I'll join in where I can. If y'all need me to do any like fact checks or anything, I got you on that. And yeah, I'm just a young man that's trying to get educated, more educated. So yeah.
Cool, man. That's what this is all about.
One might say moderately educated,
Yes, sir.
but cool.
All right. Well, I venture to say we got everybody's opinions on those two topics. So would you say cut this one and then start the other
Similar.
one to do the other two?